In this lecture, we will talk about using try, except, else, pass, and finally block in Python. So let's first review how the try and except works. So first, a try clause is executed, and if there is no problem, so there is no exception with the try block. So the only try clause will run, and except clause will not get executed. But if the try block has error, so an exception will occur and the try clause will be skipped, then the except clause will be checked. And further, if the exception occurs and matches the except statement, the except block will run. And if the exception does not match the except, then the execution of the program will stop. And a try statement can have more than one except clause, just to be noted. And next we'll see the try, except, else, and finally block in Python. So try, this block will raise an exception if there is an error. And except block, here you can handle the error if it matches. Just same as the previous page we have talked. Then the else block runs only if the try clause does not raise an exception. That means, so if the try block has no error, so try block will be run and except block will be skipped, and else block will also be run. So the finally block always gets executed either exception is generated or not. So finally block will always get executed. We see an example. So this is a function for division, the divide x by y. So try here, result is x divided by y. Then except if the try block raise an error, then exception object is created. Then except block will be checked with this exception object. So if the exception object matches 0 division error, then this statement inside except block will be run. Sorry, you are not dividing by 0. But if the try block has no error, so except block will be skipped and else block will run. Yeah, your answer is the result. So, and finally block will always be executed. This is always executed. So we divide 3 by 2 or divide 3 by 0. The first result, the first program will print out your answer is the result, and this is always executed to message. But the second 3 divided by 0 will print out, sorry, you are dividing by 0, and this is always executed. We will show later in Spider. And unless usage is the pass to fail silently, so sometimes you will want the program to fail silently when an exception occurs and continue on as if nothing happened. To make a program fail silently, you write a try blocks as usual, but you explicitly tell Python to do nothing in the except block using a pass statement. So what this means, so you first write a try block. If the try block has an error, an exception object is raised, then Python will check with except block with this exception object created in try block. But Python do nothing, just use a pass. So this will fail smoothly, and else blocks runs only if the try clause does not raise an exception. This same as before. The finally is same as before, will always be executed either exception is generated or not. There is another example for the count words we have shown in previous lecture. Count words for the textbook. So try first. Try with open a file as file object, then then read this file object and assign to the contents. So a long string will be assigned to the contents. But if the book is not existed, so we'll create and file not found error. If it matches, in the except block will only pass. Then else block will not be run because the except block is run. So if the book exists, so try block has no problem, and except block will be passed, but else block will also be run. Then in else block we will split this long string to the words list. Then calculate the length of those words and print out the message. We will show this in Anaconda Spider, and the Python file is section9 files and exceptions.py, and the file's link is added in the description of this video. And we move to lecture 5 using try, except, else, and finally in Python. So first we see try, except, else, and finally we define a function, divide x by y. Then try, first divide, then except. Except if the division has problem, we checked except if there is a 0 division error. If the exception block the error is 0 division error, then we print out sorry you are dividing by 0. And if the try block has no problem, then the else block will be run, will print out the result of the division, and the finally block will always be run. And no matter exception block is run or else block is run. So we create this function first. Okay, then we divide 3 by 2, call this function. So yeah, your answer is 1, and this is always executed, no problem. And we try 3 by divided by 0. Sorry, you are dividing by 0. This is always executed to message. And next we'll show failing silently with pass. And so failing silently and do nothing with error. We define a function to read the book. To count the words, first in the try block we'll read the book. Then in the except block, if the file is not found, file not exists, so we'll pass this. Then if the file exists, we'll run the else block, count the words. First split the long string of the book text to a words list. Then we'll calculate the length of this list and show the message of how many words of this text. We will create this function first. Then we create a file name list with 4 books, but the one book we intentionally add 1, so this book does not exist in the working directory of this file. So we run this. Then we run a file loop. So for file names has a 4 book list. We'll count the words we're calling this function for each book. We will see. So now show only three lines, each line for each book, and the file has about how many words. The file has how many words for these 3 books, but the second book does not exist. But no problem for this running, and fail silently for this exception block.